time to tune into the wish doctor. So I'd like to ask you, right off the bat, welcome to A Course of Love. What's up, brother? What I'd like to do is ask you to just take a moment to close your eyes and breathe. As we're coming out of the world, we're coming out of that day, and our minds are probably racing around. And the thought I'd like for you to take into this time of getting centered, the thought I'd like you to have is to ask yourself one question. Do I want to be right, or do I want to be happy? Would I rather be right, or would I rather be happy? Breathe. Remind yourself that you don't have to believe any of these ideas, that you don't have to accept them, you don't have to welcome them. Remember that some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas may startle you. Remind yourself that you're not here to judge, that that's not your job. That's the job of the Creator. Remind yourself that if you apply the ideas, the application of the ideas will show you that the ideas are true. That no degree of analyzing is going to answer the question. That you can analyze all night long, it's not gonna answer any of the questions according to this teaching. Breathe. I got a little message before we go into it that I opened a book that I want to read to you. I want you to just take a minute to just close your eyes and focus on it and pretend that this is your own higher self talking to you. Listen to me in trust and faith. For all that I share is important to your healing. You must practice what I share with you. You must remember my words and treasure my words within your mind. Ask me for more, and more words will be given you. Have faith that you are worthy, and you will hear. Have faith that you are worthy, and you will hear. For it is my will that you hear my voice. Now remember, this is your own self talking to you. Just pretend for a minute like it's your own self giving you a message, your higher self. When my will meets your desire, when my will meets your desire and the quietness of your mind, it shall be done. And you will hear. Ask for the healing of your mind. Ask for the healing of your mind. By asking that my thoughts be placed in your mind. Ask that my thoughts be placed in your mind. As you seek, you shall find. As you seek, you shall find. You cannot fail to find that which you seek in honesty of faith. You cannot fail to find what you seek in honesty of faith. Ask for the healing of your mind. This path that you have chosen is the greatest of all paths within the world. Yet this path is within the world. To know the kingdom of heaven, to know true joy, you must be willing to step off the path within the world with me. All right. Welcome. That's interesting. I must be willing to step off the path within the world with God. So we're on chapter 30 in the course of love. Chapter 30 is being present. So how many of you think you're present right now? Or how many of you think your mind is everywhere else but in the moment right now?
I think they're everywhere else.
Okay, so consciously bring your mind into the present, right here, right now. For just an hour, let go of what you think you know, since you don't have to accept it. Just hear it. The first paragraph says, how is being present different from being? How is being present different from being? Are being present and being not the same thing? Should being present and being not be? And yet, how seldom are you fully present for your own life? How seldom are you fully present for your own life, your own self, your own being? If you were fully aware of your own being, you would be in oneness with your Father. How can one be distracted from oneself? And yet you are. Many go through life searching for self-definition. Many go through life searching for self-actualization. Where are they as they search? You're searching for self-actualization, but where are you while you're searching? It's a great question. Everybody's searching, but where are you while you're searching? Where is their being? What are they as they search? Like if I was a chicken searching, okay, then where am I as I'm searching? Where is my being while I'm searching? You're searching. Who's searching? Where are you searching? Who's the one doing the searching? Everything you believe, you had to accept that it's true, right? Whatever you believe. Who did the choosing? Who is it that's sitting here? Who is choosing what to believe tonight? Who's doing the searching? How can I tell if it's not my real self? It's easy. If you're not in tune with your real self, you don't feel love. You don't feel happy. You don't feel connected. You don't feel joyful. You don't feel enthusiastic. You don't feel connected. You don't feel safe. So is the sad person doing the searching you? No. Well, who is that sad son of a gun that's doing the searching, that's not happy, that's not satisfied? It's who you think you are, separate from yourself. Why am I struggling? Because there's nothing that I'm doing that's natural to me. Why am I exhausted? I did everything I didn't want to do all day.
Oh my God. Tell us more.
You don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it. Are we clear? That way you can hear it if you don't think I'm trying to convert you. Because I'm not. I'm not trying to convert anybody. What I'm doing is teaching what I need to learn. I'm teaching what I want to learn. I'm teaching what I need to remember. A teacher, a good teacher, is nothing but a student who practices what he's learning. A teacher is a student. You don't even get serious about learning until you teach it. That's how you can tell. And to teach means to demonstrate. So when I said to teach it, I don't mean like standing in front of a room like me or whatever. I'm talking about at the time, if I'm ready to learn to be peaceful, I'm demonstrating being peaceful. What is their being? If reaching a particular destination is all that is sought, the journey becomes but the means for getting there. If coming to the church was all that you were seeking, then the journey that you made to the church becomes the means for getting here. You wanted to come here, so the journey was just a way to get here. So as soon as you have a destination, then everything you do is just the means to get there. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So all learning is seen as preparation for the future. Or all learning is seen as preparation for some eventual outcome. I'm learning the law so I can be a lawyer. So all learning is seen as preparation for an outcome in the future, rather than all learning being for your being. Most people are learning something because they want some kind of an outcome that they're hoping for in the future. Most people aren't learning just for their own being. I'm learning how to be. No, I'm learning how to be a president, I'm learning how to be a doctor, I'm learning how to be a successful singer, I'm learning how to be a successful writer, I'm learning how to be a good lover, I'm learning how to be a good mother. That's not learning for your being. That's learning for an eventual outcome, for something you want to happen in the future. Everybody see the difference? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm here because I want to self-actualize. I'm not here tonight because I'm trying to make sure I get $1 million. I'm not here because I'm looking for my soulmate. I'm not here because I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. I'm not here because I had an argument with my boss today and I'm trying to learn how to handle it. I'm not here now because you see what I'm saying? I'm here now because I want to self-actualize. I want to recognize who I truly am, because I know I'm not in touch with it to the degree that I feel fear and conflict about anything, when I'm out of touch with my peace and love and who I really am. These are such simple concepts they could be difficult for us to grasp. Because we're educated for complexity. So if it's not complicated, something isn't it interesting that I need something to be complicated to hear it. So that's why we seem like we have such a complicated reality. Because actually it takes a lot of awareness to hear simple concepts. You are thus attempting to learn for something other than yourself. You are attempting to learn for some purpose other than yourself. Thus was service given unto root for being separate from the self and your function here. If my purpose is to do anything other than to recognize who I really am in my connection to source, he's saying, then you're on another route that leads you to separation from yourself. If I'm here to learn how to be a good mechanic, then I'm on a route that's separate from remembering myself. That's not knocking being a mechanic, but the truth is, I'm not a mechanic. I'm a child of God. I'm a spiritual being. Mechanic is a role that I could play in the world. Like you ask people who they are, and most people tell you what they do. Mm-hmm. You say, who are you? And they say, I'm a lawyer. Mm-hmm. I'm a doctor. I got a friend that's really cute. He always introduces himself as blah blah PhD. I think PhD is behind everything. So I'm PhD.
No.
You see what I'm saying? And so I got a PhD too, and mine stands for Pile High and Deep. And that's what I'm trying to do, get past that stuff that I got piled high and deep. I'm Earl Purdy, PhD. All that illusion, that fear, that ignorance, that separation, everything that keeps me thinking I'm separate from you, that's piled high and deep. Because from the time I got here, everybody's been describing what the world is to me. As soon as the child is born, everybody starts to describe the world to the child. And then by the time the child can make all of the erroneous interpretations on its own without the help of anybody else, you say you're a member of society. So when you buy the story and you accept the story, you are now a member of society. That's deep. The Course of Love and the Course of Miracles and all the truth teachings keep saying one thing: the description is wrong. It is not what you really are. You are not separate. You're not just a body that dies. You are not something that's a victim of everything that happens to you. You are not guilty and fearful and bad. You're loved. You're infinite. You're innocent. You're spirit. You got a lot of beliefs that keep you from recognizing that. And that's why you're not happy in whatever area that you're not happy in. See, that's a very simple explanation. It's what I'm telling myself that's determining how I feel right now. How you feel right now in this moment, like if we was to be fully present, however you feel right now, you feel that way because of what you are telling yourself, consciously or unconsciously, right now. It's coming from your description of this moment right now. But when you hear something like that, man, you can't fool yourself about what's going on in your mind, can you? I mean, if you really accepted that, you couldn't be in denial about what you're telling yourself. I was telling someone, I was doing a counseling session today, and I was saying, especially since this person had done a lot of spiritual study and a lot of truth study, which, you know, that can be the most difficult person to help. Because we think we know. Not only that, we've taught our ego, and so our ego knows the words too. So our thoughts can tell us anything that we want to hear, and our thoughts can justify any position we want to take, right? We can talk ourselves into believing anything we want to believe. Is that right? I mean, am I saying something weird? Okay, all right. So that's why the Course says that you don't have to believe, that you want to start paying attention to how you feel. Because you can tell yourself anything, but you know how you feel. You could tell me you feel great right now. You could tell me you feel great, but you know how you feel. You can tell yourself anything. So the more conscious you get, the more you start paying attention to how you feel more than what you're telling yourself. So again, and then here's the paradox though. What I'm telling myself is what's ultimately determining how I feel. And I'm so insane in a part of my mind that I still think the solution would be to get you all to change. I'm still, that's a part of me that's still so insane that it thinks it's easier to get you to change to make me happy than for me to change to make me happy.
Yes.
And when you think about that, that's the stupidest premise that you could ever have, because you just set yourself up for all kinds of failure. But I'm still tempted to do that. I'm still tempted to like go, if this person just did a little bit more of this for me, I should be having a good day today. You know what I'm saying? If Earl was playing music right now, I sure would feel bad. It's like we have to watch that trick that always goes, if I could just get this external thing to alter just a little bit, I'd be happy. So then I'll try to change everything outside of myself, which is the slowest way possible to make a change. Guaranteed slow.
Will you repeat that, please?
Yeah. If you want to be on the fast track to change, you realize the only person's mind that you can change is your own. If you want to be on the slow track to change, you tell yourself that everybody else around you needs to act different, and then you'll be happy.
Okay.
Okay, that's the slow track. But it's also the track that we've been programmed with, so it's the first one we have a tendency to slide into. Especially in a special relationship with somebody. Mm-hmm. Especially in a special relationship with somebody. Okay? Okay, he says, when you learn in order to contribute, now this is really deep sentence now, get ready for this one. When you learn in order to contribute something to your work, when you learn in order to contribute something to your world, you bypass yourself. Mm-hmm. Why are you learning? Because I want to make a contribution to my work. Why are you learning? Because I want to make a contribution to the world. Now notice that nowhere in that statement was the person. I want to make a contribution to my work. I want to make a contribution to the world. But I bypass me. What about making a contribution to me? What's wrong with learning so I can make a contribution to myself? I want to learn so I can make a contribution to my children. I want to learn so I can make a contribution to my work. I want to learn so I can make a contribution to my country. Fine. He didn't say that wasn't okay. It's just who was left out? Me. I'm not in that equation.
Would that be considered like a false humility?
What would be? Yeah, to say it like that, like I want to contribute to my work. And of course. Of course. Okay. I love the Course in Miracles definition. He says, we see humility as self-debasement. Like the more you put yourself down, the more humble you are. Oh, me, pitiful little me? No, you could be, I don't deserve that. Oh, baby. Right? Everybody heard that? Everybody seen that? Oh, yeah. Self-debasement is humility. But if I was to sit up here and go, I'm a dynamic, fantastic, incredible teacher of all time, but Earl's really got You see what I'm saying? So we say good things about ourselves, then we're judged for it. Mm-hmm. We say, I don't think I'm that good, y'all. I don't think I'm very good as an instructor. I think I'm very. Then everybody gets, Earl, yes you are. Okay, but then if I go, I'm badass, then everybody go, we can't do it. The person that would respond would be the person who also had high self-esteem. The person who has high self-esteem. If I would say, gosh, I'm dynamic, they would say, you doggone right. Yeah. You're dynamic. People who are insecure, they always go, man, you think you're too much. That's why they respond when you put yourself down. They can relate to that because they put themselves down. So the minute you go, I'm not enough, then everybody go, because that's what I want you to say to me because I think I'm not enough. It's simple. I'm telling you, it's so simple. All right, so would anybody care to share a thought that they heard or a thought about a thought that they heard or a question? One thing I just heard that really kind of got my attention was we got 30 minutes. Okay.
Well, I until recently was turning down opportunities at work, and I realized that I was going through a stretch, and had been for a while, of putting myself down and saying and using those words you were saying, basically, I wouldn't be your man because I think there's other people that are better than me at doing this. Mm-hmm. And until like today, I was having a conversation with a friend and saying, I will take on that responsibility. I can do that. and it's a lot of weight. You know, it's a real chance. It's opportunity, but it's a lot of responsibility, and it's basically, excuse my language, fuck the responsibility. It's the job for me. I can do it. I can do it, and I take it pridefully and helpfully and with honor. And I really, that's the way I felt. And so something was going right today, at least, and has been going right for me, because I was tired of saying I'm not good enough. And I'm damn tired of saying I'm not good enough.
Which felt best?
Saying I'm good enough.
Thank you.
And saying it with the knowledge that I am.
Well, one thing that's really cool is that you could say it with the knowledge that you are, and you could also say it with the true desire to know that's true.
Yeah.
And both of them would be equally powerful.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? I could go, I really want to know that I'm really incredibly able to handle this in a powerful, wonderful way. And that's just as powerful as going, I know I can handle this in a powerful, wonderful way.
Yeah.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because in both situations, you have made a decision and you're moving in a direction that inspires you.
And here's a little twist on this.
What's that?
Oh, on what there's a couple things that happened. On the one I was talking about, I didn't know what they were asking of me, but I knew I could handle it. They were saying you're gonna be, you know, in charge of signing checks and stuff like that. You know, this big deal, and all these other things, and it's just kind of flying by me. But I just heard, you know, you can be responsible for a lot of stuff, a lot of responsibility. Kind of these fearful words thrown at me to try to almost scare me away from doing it. Mm-hmm. Because, damn it, you better be damn sure of yourself that you're going to be able to do this. And I had that, at that moment, I had that feeling of, I don't care what you're asking me to do. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Thank you.
I know I can.
Thank you.
Damn, it felt good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I always try to give things what I call a heavy light test. You know, is the idea of doing this, is it making me feel lighter, or is it making me feel heavier? You felt more inspired. To me, that's lighter. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to get in touch with how you feel deep down inside by very simple methods like that. I'm getting ready to do this. Do I feel lighter or do I feel heavier? Well, I need to change my either need to not do it. I need to change my perception of it. One of those two things until I feel lighter. Like a relationship. A relationship that's a correct relationship and a correct perception of a relationship should be saving you time, moving you faster. It shouldn't be that you're cruising, then you get in a relationship with somebody, and now you've slowed down with all of the processing, arguing, figuring things out, convincing each other. That's not the purpose of a relationship, but I see people do that over and over and over again. They join with people who they don't fly with because they are afraid to fly. And then they get a chance to project on the other person that the other person is keeping them from flying. They're afraid to fly. That's why they're in the relationship. Hello? And then there are those that are ready to fly, and then they join in the relationship, and they're with someone who's wind beneath their wings. Right?
Yeah.
They're with someone that's going, I support you, I believe in you, I believe you can do this. How can we do it together? How can I help you make it? How can I help it happen for you? You know what I'm saying? It's like moving furniture by yourself and moving furniture with 3 or 4 more other people. They're speeding you along. But if you're trying to move the sofa and the 3 people sat on it, then they're not helping you. That's what a lot of people's relationships are. It's like trying to move the sofa with the person sitting on it.
Yes.
So we should be moving. This class. It should be moving all of us faster
Yeah.
toward accepting the love that we are than we would be doing by ourselves. But if
Right.
we get together just to argue with each other or to make each other afraid, then we're sitting on each other's sofa. Right? Thank you. Anybody else? Any thoughts about those? That was some powerful stuff.
I have one.
Yeah.
When you said, I read this part about we think that learning is seen as preparation for the future, I just really felt that deeply. And then at the end where it says rather than the learning being for your needs, that felt so much better.
Didn't it?
The whole learning as preparation for the future is so much just my whole story. And so I never get anywhere because it's always being pushed out to the future. I'm always learning for the future. I'm always learning for something that's going to happen later. And that whole learning for just where I am now just really felt like it pulled me into being able to be present here.
Isn't that
Felt really
interesting?
good.
Yeah, just another interpretation brought you into the present moment. The truth will always be something you can do now. I love that about the truth. That's like a quick way to tell whether you're dealing with something that's unreal or real. If it's real, it's what is. If it's not real, it's not what is. And so I realized I live in the what's not is a lot. Just like what you were saying. And so the Course in Miracles says that the future means not yet. I love that simple definition. Future means not yet. Past means gone. So, and then they just say it that way. You know, I'm thinking about my past relationship. I'm thinking about my gone relationship. I'm trying to let go of something that's already gone. How can I be unsuccessful? So I want to tell each and every one of you that are trying to let go of your past, you will succeed. I promise you, you will succeed. How can you not let go of what's already gone?
Yes.
I'm going to let go of what happened to me when I was 18 years old. I promise you I will. Of course, it's already gone. I have to be successful in it. And then the future means not yet. So I'm going to have that happiness in the future.
Not yet.
I'm going to have it in the not yet. I want to love you in the not yet. I'm going to be prosperous in the not yet. And then we wonder why we never achieve it. We're asking for it to be in the not yet. Man, I'm so out of the present. It's a wonder I've survived. I've been I'm not so much of a past person as I'm a future person. My mind is always about what's going to happen to me in the not yet. And the part of me that hates me says, bunches of crap. Crap you never could have imagined. It's going to be some, and this 2012 too. So we going to add 2012 on top of that too. Does anybody else have a voice that says sometimes their future might be frightening?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was just wondering. Y'all was giving me that look again. Really? Okay. I want it now. I want to experience my joy now. I want connection now. I want to know love now. I want to know who I am now. I want to know peace now. 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 Yeah, brother.
Yeah. I was reading The Way of Mastery, and they were talking about being in the present and being thankful for everything that's going on right now, and don't worry about anything else. Just focus on right now and take responsibility for where your thoughts are going away from the right now. You know, like I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad this guy's sitting next to me. I'm glad she's sitting next to me. I'm glad you're teaching. I'm glad that everybody's here. I want to feel the love now, not in the not yet. You know, it's staying in the present.
Well, now is the only aspect of time
That's all there is.
that is eternal. As long as, I don't know about you all, but as long as I've been here, there's always been a now. As long as I can remember, I always had a now. So it looks like it's the now.
Why do we want to go? Like
It's
you're
a-
saying, into the future instead of
It's
we're
it's
not.
it's a form. First of all, we've learned that.
Yeah.
That's the number one rule. It's from the time we got here, everybody was telling us about the way it's going to be in the future. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having an intention of experiencing something beautiful in the future. But the minute you use the future to keep you from being present, then you're using the future against yourself. So the Course in Miracles says, okay, let me tell you something you can do with that whole future thing. It says, say, I place my future in the hands of God. So if you want to play with which is the same as the hands of love, the hands of the Creator. In other words, if I'm going to play, I want what's not happened to me yet and will happen to me in the not yet to be controlled by love and by God, which is the same thing. I keep saying both of them because I want you to interchange those two terms. I don't want to place my future in the hands of fear, the hands of my ego, the hands of what the world tells me. I watch the evening news so I can practice the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of my curriculum right now. I was told by my inner self to watch the news and to look at it differently from everybody that's giving it to me. To remind myself that I'm sustained by the love of God. That God isn't creating the catastrophes that I'm looking at and hearing about. And that I don't really know what it's for. That's the main thing Spirit keeps saying. You don't really know what's going on. You don't know that, for all you know, everything that's happening could be ultimately for everybody's own best interest in terms of what we end up realizing and learning. You don't know. Ooh, but you want to let go of your fear. So you can't hide your head in the sand, Earl. You can't pretend that it ain't happening. You can't stand in the middle of a railroad track, put your hands over your eyes and think that means the train ain't gonna run over you like most people do. So you're at that point in your spiritual development where you gotta look straight at the illusion, straight at the thing, and remember that love is the only thing that's real, and God and truth is the only thing that's real. You can't pretend it's not there anymore. That's where you are, Earl. That's not where maybe somebody else is. Somebody else may need to never pick up a newspaper, never look at the news. But you personally are at a stage in your development that you got to be in the world but not of the world, and you're remembering the truth right in the middle of it. That's the only way you're going to ultimately have peace. Deep. Deep. Your learning must take on a new focus. That's the next paragraph. Your learning must take on a new focus. Be like the little children and inhale the world around you. I might not be able to inhale the whole world, but I can try to inhale 2 or 3 of y'all. And y'all smell good too. Why do I want to inhale the world? In order to make it part of myself. I'm inhaling you so that I can see you as part of myself. Be like the little children and learn in order to claim your learning for yourself. Learn who you are. This is another one of those sentences that's a mind twister. Learn who you are through each experience rather than learning in order to find out who you are. Rather than learning in order to find out who you are, learn who you are through each experience that you're having. So each experience that you're having is allowing you to learn who you are. And so he's saying, stop trying to learn, in a sense, in order to find out who you are. Learn who you are through this experience right now, that you're having right now. Learn who you are through each experience rather than learning in order to find out who you are, or learning to find out what your contribution will eventually be. So The new focus is for you to be like a little child. The new focus, I was walking through the park the other day, and this kid was asking their father, how do you get from this bank over here to this thing that was out in the middle of the water? The kid was trying to figure out how you would get there. What I loved about the child's attitude was the child didn't already have in their mind what the answer was supposed to be when they ask like adults do. You almost never hear honest questions as an adult. What you usually hear is a person wanting to make a statement in the form of a question. Very few adults really ask any question with the attitude of, I don't know, and I just want you to tell me what the answer is. Most adults, that's why they always go, yes, but. Or they don't get relieved. It's like me asking you where my car keys are because I don't know. Or better yet, me asking you for where my car keys are and I've decided they're in the bedroom. And you tell me they're in the kitchen. And I go, but I left them in the bedroom. That's where they really are. But if I really said, I don't know where my car keys are, and you said they're on the kitchen table, I say, thank you, and go to the kitchen and get the keys. That's what these books are doing. We're asking, well, how do I solve all my emotional problems? How do I have a relationship? How do I know abundance? And these books tell us one thing after another, and we're like the person who's decided that the keys are in the bedroom. And so we sit back, right? And then we try to analyze whether or not it's true, rather than just saying, from this point on, I'm going to also make sure when I'm trying to learn something, I'm trying to learn it in order to recognize myself also. You know, that right now, I'm going to start being as a little child. Right now, I'm going to try to inhale all of you and see you as being a part of who I am. Because if I can see you as a part of who I am, that's when I will come to know my power and who I am. I just go do it. But that's not what I learned. So therefore now you got to convince me. And it's so cool because when you begin to wake up, you don't have any desire to convince anybody of anything anymore. Because you know it's inevitable that they come to the realization for themselves. It's just built into the system. What makes a person move faster? Well, when you begin to wake up spiritually, it becomes harder for you to tolerate discomfort. When you're coming into your power, you don't put up with the stuff you used to put up with when you don't love yourself. So one of the side effects of wanting to wake up to your true identity is that minor intrusions of discomfort bug you more than they used to. You want it over now. You want the pain over now. So people who are long suffering are asleep. They're punishing themselves. That's why they call it long suffering. But what about the people over here that are suffering? And what about? Well, I don't know, but I'm trusting that there is some type of divine plan being acted out for the good of everyone concerned. I don't know how, and sometimes when I look at the pictures of the children in Africa that are starving, I can't see how that would be serving some kind of a soul growth. Well then, what do I do personally? Well, I see those people as unlimited spiritual beings just like me, number one, and not the people that are suffering and realize they have power. And if my inner guidance tells me to send a care package or contribute to something that feeds them, I will do that too. Why? Because I want to give what I would like to receive. What do you mean? If I didn't have no food, I think I'd like somebody to give me some. So whether it's an illusion or not an illusion or whatever, I give what I like to receive. All I know is I feel like I need to eat something today. So until I don't need to eat something, I'll assume other people do too. Because I've heard truth students go stuff like, well, you know this is just an illusion, and you know it's not real, and you know, and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, you really want a reality where when you're going through pain, somebody walk up to you and say it's not real, rather than taking you to the hospital if you get hit by a car, but then you go ahead and put that energy out there. Because you'll be the one laying in the street with everybody driving by you, driving right by you. Why? Because you've already said it's an illusion. It's not real. So why should anybody stop for you? So don't let your ego use the truth to jam you up. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen so many people on the path say stuff like that. Because it's not them, they'll say it's an illusion. Because it's not personal, it's an illusion. And so the easy way to keep from doing that and messing yourself up is to go, would I want that if I was in that situation? If I can honestly say if I was starving, I didn't want anybody to feed me, then let me take that attitude toward other people that appear to be starving. But if I know honestly I'd want food, then I need to be seeing them fed, wanting them fed, praying for them fed, being a means for them getting fed, because that's what I would want. So if you can honestly say you want everybody to look at everything that you go through as if it's nothing, then keep looking at everybody else's stuff as if it's nothing. I used to do that, but it was really because I didn't really want to get involved. And I don't have to, because the rule is, if you don't feel innocent, if you don't feel inspired, if you don't feel like it's what you're being called to do, don't do it. I don't give money to every homeless person that asks for it. I give money to the homeless people that my spirit tells me to give money to. So it's an individual, moment by moment thing. So everybody be with that. No guilt here. No forcing yourself to give something that you don't want to give. Because the Court says you're not really giving anything but fear and hate anyway when you do that, even if you give them the thing. Because it's what's behind it that counts. That's why I try to surround myself with people I like, because it makes it easier to be glad to give to them. It's a radical concept. Try to have people around you that you love. It makes the whole thing a lot easier. Most people surround themselves with people they don't get along with, and they spend all their time trying to figure out how you can like them. Right? Forget that. That's the slow way. All right? Also, yeah, let me tell you, I've got somewhere to be tonight, so I'm going to run out of here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give everybody a big group hug for me. Feels good. That was good hugging. That was good. All right. So let's do the love offering now, and then we're going to do a quick little thing before we head out into the dream.
You know, Earl, I've noticed more and more that there's a lot more people with an awareness of.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you.
Of living in and working on living in a state of love rather than a state of fear. It's just something I just want to toss out there. It's really very beautiful to feel and to see and to hear that this thing does, to me, appear to be growing in numbers. It's just neat. It's just neat. Something I wanted to say while people were shuffling around there with their money and everything like that.
I think that what we're doing saves us so much time. What we're doing is saving us so many challenges. Always remember this. You always are giving what you want to receive. Always give. You always are giving what you want to receive. You know, what you give is what you're going to receive. And it's a trip how many people want to receive who never give. And who are shocked that they don't receive. Or who say, I will give after I receive. So as soon as I receive, then I'm going to be generous. You know, it's like, I'm generous first. Because the world is a mirror. And whatever you see in the mirror is not the mirror generating it. You know, when I look in the mirror before I walk out the door, it's not the mirror that's wearing that outfit that I'm seeing. It's me. And this is your mirror. This world is your mirror. It's really that simple. It's just that some of us are not aware of everything we got on. So when we look in the mirror, we're not seeing it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this because I want to get off of this blaming and looking for something in somebody else to bring me the joy and the happiness in my life that I want to experience right now. So that's why I'm harping on that, because I'm working on that right now. I'm trying to get rid of the last vestiges of sitting around waiting for my life to change without me contributing anything to allow that to happen. I really am. And I want to join with more and more people who've also made that same decision, that they're ready now to really have the joy and the happiness and the peace that they really think they deserve. And I want the energy of gratitude, because I notice if I can feel grateful, I have more energy to make the change. But if I don't feel grateful, I feel like my energy is dissipated, and I don't want to get up and do anything. I notice when I'm judging my life and I'm not seeing it as being cool, it's very difficult for me to do the things I need to do during the day. It's very difficult. But the minute I go, wow, I can see some blessings that's coming down right here. I'm seeing some cool stuff that's happening right here. Then I find myself motivated. So gratitude equals motivation. You know, so whatever you're feeling sad about, try to substitute a thought of gratitude. I made a list, because sometimes I forget. So when I'm really tempted to be depressed about something I think I'm deprived of, I put my list out. And then I go, oh, yeah, okay, all right. All right, okay. Look over the head, friends, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll forget when you're upset. You'll forget. And so sometimes, you know, I got my little emergency medicine cabinet of truth.
Yeah.
I do. You know, when I'm sick, I got a whole set of tapes I listen to. You know, when I'm afraid, I got something else. I got my, you know, people have a medicine cabinet full of physical medicines, but they don't have a medicine cabinet full of thoughts that they need when they're freaking out. But you need those just as much as the medicine in the medicine cabinet. You need your learning the most when you're most upset. That's when you need it the most, because that's when you're going to be most prone not to use it, actually. You know, so prepare. All right, okay, so let's take a minute. Let's take another paragraph, okay? We got 10 minutes. Being in the present is being in a relationship is being present. The biggest mistake that I made with all my relationships that I've ever had with anybody, especially romantic relationships, is that I was in a relationship that I wasn't in. I used to form special relationships that I couldn't enter, because I was the thing that needed to be changed to be in it. The person could love me if I was just a little bit different, and I could love them. So neither one of us were present. So there was no relationship. So of course it went the way that it did. So being present has nothing to do with time. Aha, as you think of it. You think of this instruction to be present as an instruction that relates to time. You think of present time, past time, future time. We have spoken of these modes of keeping time as well. But as the word keeping illustrates, it is only in your perception that time can be kept. You can only keep time in your perception. You are headed toward what might be called universal consciousness, though you will not know it when it is at first achieved. When you achieve universal consciousness, at first you won't even know it. That's funny. When you're most conscious, you won't know it at first. So could you be most conscious and don't know it? Could you be more conscious than you've ever been and don't know it? For universal consciousness is knowing self, while you think universal consciousness is knowing all. We think universal consciousness means I know everything. The truth is, universal consciousness is knowing yourself. So when it says universal consciousness, it means knowing you. Knowing self is knowing all, but this you do not yet understand. Universal consciousness is being in relationship. It is the true self, the known self, in all its glorious relationship with life. All matter is born and dies. All things physical, matter is born and it dies. All life is forever. You ever saw a corpse at a funeral, you get that immediately. You know that body in that casket is not that person. The body or the matter is not the life. That's important. The known self realizes this and begins to act in accordance with this knowing. So when you wake up to who you are, you know that you are life, and life never ends. And even though the form you come in may die, you know you don't. How would you spend tomorrow if you knew you could not die?
Mm-hmm.
What would you do tonight if you knew you were eternal and created by that which was eternal? I bet you'd have a whole different weekend.
Into the airport.
All right, let's take a breath. Oh, and remind yourself you don't have to believe this. I want you to think of the thought, it's okay to put myself first. It's okay to put myself first. It's okay to put myself first. It's okay to love myself first. It's okay to love myself first, because I can't give what I don't have. I cannot give what I do not 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 have. And all that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given. And it's okay, those who feel like saying it, please say it. And those who feel like being quiet, it's okay to be quiet. But if you feel like joining in, don't hold back once everybody else is quiet. Go ahead and say that for yourself. All that I give is given to myself. 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 I bless the world because I bless 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 myself. Could we acknowledge ourselves for being able to even hear it? You don't have to believe that. It's fine. It's all right. I love you. I appreciate you. 1 o'clock on Sunday is the next Course in Miracles class. And you entitled Miracles.